January 5th, 2011. I had another one of those dreams. I woke up in the middle of a dirt path around a dense forest. But for some reason there was a fog so thick that the only way I could tell it was a forest was the fact of me bumping into several trees. I looked around to see if there was anything, to no avail. Suddenly, I heard a dog barking from behind me. I turned around and followed the sound, with hurried but cautious running, as not to trip on a wayward, rude rock. I found the dog, which seemed like a normal black dog to me. It looked at me happily and ran away. I chased it down, seeming like it was the only living thing that could possibly help me. I suddenly tripped on something in my mad dash for hope. I went to check what it was, and I found a small, black, but still incredibly interesting stone. It shined so brilliantly. I took it, thinking it must have had some value or something. I picked myself up and saw a figure of a man at the horizon. "Hey!" I yelled. He quickly turned around and looked at me. "Who are you?" I worriedly said. Suddenly, I heard a child's whisper from behind me. "Death. He was always dead." I spun around and saw the same black dog I was chasing, except it was covered in blood and had a rotted eye gouged out. And now, I am death. As its teeth sunk into my leg, I screamed and fell into the ground and began to drag me along the rocky surface, tearing away at my scalp. I grabbed and screamed and shouted for it to stop, and in that instant the dog was scared and ran off. Unable to stand properly, I crawled away until I bumped into what I thought was another tree. I looked up, but I saw those eyes. I quickly tried to stand up and run, but instead I stumbled around and fell like a drunk. The black creature walked up to me and began to cut my leg slowly, leaving me completely immobile. I tried to fight him off, but I remembered about the rock in my pocket. I took it out and started bashing it in the head. It growled and hissed at me as the beast was dazed for a moment. I stood up and bashed its head in with the rock and watched as its eyes slowly dimmed out. I sighed in relief and plopped my body on the floor from exhaustion and possibly loss of blood from my legs. Then I noticed something wrong. I saw a pair of red glowing eyes look at me from a tree in the distance, and another from the left of me. The two grew to 10, then 20. My God, how many were there? I screamed and begged for mercy, but the last sound I heard before I blacked out were the multiple mind-numbing screams of the creatures as they were ready to feast upon me. My alarm screamed at me to wake up as I nearly had a panic attack. I decided to name the dark creature Pestilence, as it was the horror eating away at my sanity. I grabbed you as quickly as I could, but when I stood up to get dressed for work, my legs were cramped so badly I had to crawl.